Studs back with another UFC prediction video. We have Fight Night, Brandon Allen against Paul Craig.
We have Jonny Parsons versus the Doctor, Uros Medic. Uros Medic, when he went up to 170 against Matthew Semelsberger, people were not thinking he was going to be the same guy that he was at 155. They thought Matthew Semelsberger is just a little too big, a little too technical. Uros Medic put it on him. It had that spinning elbow. He looked great with his teeps, his 1-2s. Kind of wear down on Matthew Semelsberger. And Jonny Parsons is a 5'9", 171 guy from at welterweight. He took 2 years off for concussions. He says he kept having headaches after sparring. That is the most instant red flag of all time when you're going up against a guy in Medic who, I'm going to say it, he is a top 20 welterweight striker right now. He is super technical, super powerful. I have Uros Medic in the matchup, and I'm going by second round KO.
Yeah, there's not much to think about here. Medic is just going to pour it on. The strength is there, and I just don't see, to be honest, I don't see Parsons making it out of the first round. As long as Medic can get his flow going, gets his teeps, like you said, I think he puts his lights out very early in the fight.
I was not expecting that one. We'll move on to the women's fight. Luana Pinheiro versus Amanda Ribas. Luana looked really good against Michelle Waterson-Gomez. It's kind of a tale that people look good against Michelle Waterson-Gomez right now. Sadly, that's the case. Amanda Ribas, last 5 fights. Win, loss, win, loss, win. I mean, she is the other way around. Loss, win, loss, win. I apologize. She lost to Macy Barber her last time out. It was an all right showing, but with the odds that you see right now, minus 245, I don't really believe in it. I actually am going to go with Luana. I think Luana actually can set up her striking very well, and the overall MMA game of the clinch and all that, I think Amanda Ribas is not going to be able to handle it. Give me Luana Pinheiro by decision.
I loved everything that you said, except when you said decision. Look, we've seen it. You're talking about some girl that can absolutely knock out someone that has been knocked out multiple times before, right? The only thing I'm worried about is this girl's stamina. I mean, we see it. She just slows down, and when you talk about Ribas, you take anybody to the ground, she's going to win, right? But you see one thing that's suspect in her game, and it's always been the stand-up. It's always that stand-up defense, and she cannot protect up top. And look, unless she takes it to the ground, I don't see her winning at all. So give me the plus money, give me the underdog. We're riding, but give me inside the distance. I think she knocks her out.
You know, I picked her thinking this was going to be a little slick pick. You weren't going to be surprised. You were going to be surprised. Complete opposite. It's wonderful. We'll go to the youngster Payton Talbott against, get this, Slick Nick Aguirre. I love that. I love that name. Payton, in my opinion, at 25 years of age, has one of the more slicker striking styles in the bantamweight division, and we're talking to the likes of Corey Sandhagen, Sean O'Malley, the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think his striking is actually beautiful. It's so flowy. The only issue I have with Payton Talbott is that takedown defense. It's Swiss cheese. He has little to no takedown defense. Do I think Slick Nick could actually expose that? Look at the odds. He is not really the greatest wrestler. He doesn't have the greatest striking either. Give me Payton Talbott by round 3 KO. I can see Payton slowly pouring it on volume-wise and getting a knockout or a doctor stoppage.
Look, man, we're riding with the same pick. Payton's got a chin, and we saw it on the Contender, right? This dude, he's good up top. Again, that defense on the ground is suspect, but I just think that he controls the fight. He manages distance. He, again, like you said, he flows, and I don't really see anything that Slick Nick can do other than take him down, which, sure, he takes him down, but I don't think he does anything when he gets there. So give me Payton. Give me the iron chin.
And Payton has, I think, the weirdest tattoo ever. He has just a dot here and then a dot in the back. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's some, I hide myself in dark rooms for 3 days with no food or water. I don't know what, some chakra. No clue what it is, but his striking's good. And then we have the fight for the least intimidating motherfucker belt. We have Chase Hooper versus Jordan Leavitt. Chase Hooper still training with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, still has that exponential jiu-jitsu ground game. Jordan Leavitt has that, really good wrestling. The only thing that makes me go with Chase Hooper is look at Jordan Leavitt's losses. It's against wrestlers. It's against people who try to take it to the ground. I see Chase doing exactly what he did with, I'm blanking out on his name. I feel so bad. Colares, where he just runs through and puts a pace on him and gets him super tired and ends up either getting a TKO or one of those submissions. Jordan Leavitt against Paddy Pimblett, who they not the same jiu-jitsu, but the same sort of game plan, which is get in the clinch, use the trips, pressure heavy style. That's what Chase Hooper likes to do. I could see another Paddy Pimblett sort of affair with Chase Hooper, but I'm going to go round 3 sub. I don't think he'll be able to get it in round 2. I think Jordan Leavitt recently, his striking has looked really good. You saw it in his round 1 knockout, a knee. I mean, who would have thought Jordan Leavitt had that in his locker? Give me Chase Hooper, though, by a round 3 sub.
The biggest question mark with Chase Hooper is, again, that stand-up, right? Because whenever he takes anybody down, he's amazing, right? One of the better younger prospects of that jiu-jitsu class. Jordan, I don't know what it is with this man. I just don't like him. I mean, whether it's his sussy celebrations or just the way he acts outside of the cage, he's a great wrestler, right? And like you said, his striking has gotten up there, but the dude doesn't throw. That's the thing that makes me mad. Whenever he's standing up, he doesn't throw. He doesn't, mix up the combinations, whatever it is. I just can't get behind him. So obviously Chase Hooper's going to be the pick. And honestly, I see Chase Hooper maybe a knockout, maybe a TKO. Maybe he gets him down, does a little elbow, does a little elbow, whatever it is. They stand back up, and then he lights his shit on the feet. So give me TKO/KO Chase Hooper.
Chase Hooper has had 4 TKO KOs in his career. 4 TKO KOs and 5 subs. So that is a possibility. It is wild to think that Chase Hooper is 24. I mean, we've heard about this guy for years now, but he's such a young prospect who's now making his move to lightweight. So that's obviously a big sign of him growing as an adult, but we're seeing an adult in our eyes. I mean, that's wild to think. 24 years of age against a guy who is 28 and, is still peaking. This is a very big matchup for Chase Hooper. And then we go to the co-main. We got Ecuador's finest and Michael Morales versus Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews, another one of those guys that, like Chase Hooper, we've seen him grow up. He is only 29 years of age. I mean, he has been in the UFC, I think, since he's been 23. So big signs of difference. I mean, we saw it against Andre Fiallo. He can crack, and Michael Morales can crack as well. But I'm still going to go with the undefeated streak. I think Michael Morales' takedowns and his striking, his overall MMA game will actually get Jake Matthews in kind of a I'm going to move backwards and not really throw anything. I think Jake Matthews ends up being gun shy against Michael Morales because of all the different things throwing at him. And agree with me if you want, Andy. When you see Michael Morales fight, there's this aura to him when he's walking, when he's throwing. There is just this aura of I need to back up. And I don't know if it's because he hits hard. Obviously, I've never been in a match with him, but everybody backs up against Michael Morales. I'm going to go Michael Morales by decision. I don't think he'll be able to take Jake Matthews out. I think Jake Matthews is way too tough for Michael Morales to actually get a finish.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing with me and Jake Matthews is that I just think he tries to download and he takes way too much time picking the right shot that he just never gets it. So Morales, I think he is the most game ready right now for this fight. Again, whether you want to say the whole career, undefeated, whatever it is, yeah, he's going to continue the streak. I don't see it really being too close of an affair, but instead of the decision, like you're saying, give me that last round, Morales, however you want it. Give me him.
And Jake Matthews is a very big tell for Michael Morales. This is going to really determine if Michael Morales is ready for that welterweight top 15 or top 20, because if you look at the losses recently for Jake Matthews, we have Sean Brady, who is a stud. I want him back in the octagon. I don't think that Sean Brady against Bilal Muhammad was the best Sean Brady. And then we have Matthew Semmelsberger, who's always cruising around the top 15, top 20 area. He's up there with like Alex Morono, you know what I'm saying? With Alex Morono and Jaquan Buckley. Like, that's the level that we're talking. If Michael Morales can show that he can take down a guy like Jake Matthews. This is a very big fight, and that's why I think this is in the co-main. And we're going to the main event, and I don't care what anybody says. I love this card. I love who's on this card. I love the main event because it tells you that just because you don't have the biggest name doesn't mean you can't get a main event fight. We have Brendan Allen versus Paul Craig, two very skilled middleweights in the middleweight division. Paul Craig was a 205er and somehow is making 185 at 35 years of age. I mean, this is wild. And I will say one thing. And Paul Craig, I'm sorry if you're listening, if you're ever going to listen to this, you can't be wearing face paint at weigh-ins and getting up in people's faces when you throw single legs and then sit on people. I don't understand why you have such a big aura in the weigh-in days and then you don't present it in the fights. Your last fight against Andre Muniz was your best representation of that war paint mentality. I don't think you can do that to Brendan Allen. I don't think that is possible. Brendan Allen, in my opinion, is a top 5 middleweight in the division right now as we speak. I think Brendan Allen, on a good day, can take down a guy like Marvin Vettori, can take down a guy like Jack Hermanson. That's how high I am on this Brendan Allen kid. Brendan Allen is a dog. I mean, his fight against Bruno Silva shows you that he can crack, he can take a punch, and if you look at the Andre Muniz fight, no one thought Brendan Allen was going to be able to get a submission against the guy who broke Jacare Souza's arm so easily, like it was a fucking carrot. Brendan Allen has been on a streak, and a very low-key streak, and I think he continues with it. Give me Brendan Allen by a third-round TKO. I think Paul Craig will eventually get tired from Brendan Allen stuffing takedowns and keeping the pace on him. That it gets to the point where Brendan Allen will be able to get on the ground, get on top, and eventually finish it by TKO. Give me Brendan Allen.
Yeah, I mean, this fight goes one of two ways. It's either Brendan Allen by TKO, Paul Craig by submission. But the thing is, you cannot be such a selectionist or a specialist, should I say, in the UFC anymore. You can't be just a jiu-jitsu guy. You can't be just a striker. You have to have a mix of everything. And Brendan Allen has that. And it's funny to say, too, Brendan Allen looks like Kyle Phillips. So if you guys don't know who that is, look it up. He looks exactly like him, just a little bit more thicker. But moving on from that, look, we know Paul Craig's game. We know what it is. It's that takedown. It's to sit on you, and I'm just going to see what you give me. Do you give up an arm? Do you give up a back? Do you give up the neck? Like, we know what it is. And unfortunately, people have game planned already for it, and it's not going to stop here. So we know where this is going, and unfortunately, it's not Paul Craig. Even though Scotland should stand up, they got to sit down for this one.
And it's funny you speak of specialists on the card, because this is why I'm going to give my lock of the prelims to Christian Leroy Duncan. I think Cesar Almeida is a specialist in kickboxing. Yes, he beat Alex Pereira. That's the big storyline. If he can beat a guy like Christian Leroy Duncan, they're going to shoot him up to a different level. I think Christian Leroy Duncan against Armin Petrosian was just not what he was. I mean, this is a Cage Warriors champion, and he fights well. He fights super well. He was one of my bigger prospects going into the year, but he just didn't show against Armin Petrosian. I think he proves himself against Cesar Almeida and proves why he was such a big prospect for me. As well, I'm going to go with plus money. I think Chad Gallagher can beat Jose Johnson very easily. Yes, the height is there. Jose Johnson is 6'1", and I'm pretty sure Chad Gallagher is 5'9", so 5'6", pardon me. But I think Chad Gallagher can get in and pressure Jose Johnson, get the takedowns, and actually get a finish. I'm going Chad Gallagher and Christian Leroy Duncan as my locks. Andy, who are you picking?
And on the main card, I'm going Chase Hooper. I'm going inside the distance. I'm not saying that Chase Hooper is going to win inside the distance. I'm just saying the fight is going to end before the last bout. So give me inside the distance of the Chase Hooper fight for sure.
Guys, let us know how you feel in the comments. Let us know your picks in the comments. Please like, subscribe. It's been Andy. It's been Santi. It's been Studs.